Hey guys, so working on the first gen again. We are putting manifold on in the turbo. Gotta get this thing going because I want to do burnouts. We need to do burnouts or something, I don't know. Probably do burnout. So I got I just shot a little bit of black paint on the head just so it wasn't rusty. We are gonna pull this engine back out, providing we don't have any problems with it this year, and I'm gonna clean the engine bay all up in this truck and paint it and paint the engine up real nice and all that jazz. That's the reason I'm not getting super carried away. I didn't want to have to take paint off to put paint back on, which I think I said earlier in the video. Anyways, this is the manifold we're using. It is a Steed 24 valve T6 flange from Steed Speed. What are we using? Oh, the turbo. So the turbo is a smending base turbo. This is a S475 96 turbine with a 115 housing on it, T6. But we have changed the wheel to a infinite performance 4-blade. So it's supposed to move all of the air. So we'll find out. So we are going to put this turbo in so that we can see what some of the piping and stuff is going to look like. And yeah, go from there. Well, we got some stuff done. A few little things. Got the inner fender back in so we can see where that turbo is actually going to end up. Sure gonna have to do some I'm gonna have to do a little bit of trickery there because I don't line up so good. But that's okay. I can make shit happen. So the valve cover just sitting on there just because I wanted to cover it over to paint it. We just give her a quick paint job, nothing special. We are going to paint this engine when I pull it back out. I don't know, probably this winter, because I would like to redo the engine bay. I've already mentioned that. So I just wanted to set some stuff on there so it looked cool. I got the adjustable timing gear on. Pump is pinned. I believe he pinned it at 24. I believe that was Seth Farrell Diesel because he wrote 24 on the tag. So I'm going to assume that's at 24. And then that'll be good enough to at least get it running. So we're coming along. I got the, like I said, got the turbo bolted on there, all that jazz. Exhaust manifold is on. I got the turbo drain line on. So, or the feed, oh, sorry, the turbo drain adapter. So it's 12AN and it'll go down to the 12AN fitting that we put in the block down there. I got a cap on it right now. It'll go down to that. So it'll probably come off there 45 and then maybe even 45 at the top. We'll see. I got this Black Sheep Industries adapter on the back of the T6 housing. And by the look of it, the exhaust, we got loads of room, so that's cool. And yeah, I don't know. We'll get after doing some more stuff. I'm just kind of tinkering away at this thing with what I got going on. I'm not super motivated, but I want to get stuff done. So I'm trying to do something every night. So this video is probably going to be drug out a little bit because, well, I'm dragging it out a little bit. So tomorrow, I don't know what I'm going to be doing just yet, but this will be in the same video. I'm thinking anyway. Something that I am going to do though, I think, is I'm going to pull that battery tray out, and I'm going to sandblast and paint that because I don't want it to get worse than it already is. So, and then I don't know, I want to clean up the wiring a little bit. So we're probably going to clean up the wiring a little bit, and, I might start working on I should get the engine all buttoned up. So let's work on getting the engine all buttoned up because I don't have the rockers, the push rods, a bunch of that stuff, like all that stuff isn't in there. I don't have the injectors yet. Still waiting on those. So as soon as they come, I can finalize everything. But I think what I'll do is I'll get the rockers that I'm going to use, push rods and all that stuff. I'll just set everything down inside there so I know where everything is. And then we'll put the injectors in, set the valve lash and all that stuff after, because it doesn't really matter whether I do it now or after. We'll get the drain line stuff figured out. I am going to do a one-wire alternator on this finally. It's been years I've been running it this way, just with this, but I want to put the overflow bottle that's supposed to be on here back on here. So that won't be able to be there. That'll be in the way. So we're going to do a one-wire alternator. I'll show you doing that on this video or on this series as well for you guys that are interested. And I actually got an extra set of exhaust manifold gaskets in the box from Steed. So I actually am going to give these to Fab Rats. If you guys, Paul at Fab Rats, if you guys have ever had anything to do with him or see his videos, he burnt his. So I'm going to send these to him, and I got a couple of little things that I wanted to send to him as well. So we are going to call it a night. It is a 7:45. I have been here since 5 o'clock this morning. So I've had enough. So I'll catch you in a bit. Hey guys, so working on the first gen some more because I'm trying to get this thing done so that we maybe can do cool things. So I put the alternator bracket on. I am going to do a one-wire alternator, but I think I'm going to put a brand new alternator in it because I don't remember how old this alternator is. I might do this one. I don't know. We'll see. I'll probably buy an intake because I don't want a stock one. I don't know. That's something we're going to do on the dyno, but I honestly don't know. I don't know. A stock one will probably work just fine. I just don't like the look of the stock one. Maybe I'm callous. So I'll probably buy a Banks intake or something for it just so that I don't have a big ugly stock one on there. So anyways, but the reason I wanted to put the alternator and the bracket and stuff on is I want to figure out what I'm going to do for an intake. So I think just for simplicity's sake, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to get a boot that comes off of here and it'll come down into here with a piece of 4-inch or something, just so that we have an intake, and then I'll probably get a turbo guard for it. So I am going to, right tonight, oh, I did put the lines on, just set them on there so they look cool. So I have to get a few bits and pieces and stuff for this thing, which I ordered some of the stuff, but there's some more stuff that I need apparently. So we need to get the heater core line hooked up. I'm going to order that tomorrow. So basically we're going to come off of either that one or that port, hook up to there. I'm not sure which one yet. I might come off of this one actually. I shouldn't say that. I should maybe come off of that one because no, I guess it doesn't matter. We're going to get the wastegate hooked up because I think I'm going to plumb that into the downpipe as well. I think, if not, what I might do is I might just shoot it down to the ground because I don't know if this setup is going to stand there and I don't want to keep building more things. You know, like it's just one of those things. If I leave it in for a while, I'll probably do it. So we will, tonight. That's what I'm doing tonight. So tonight, I'm just rambling apparently. So tonight I am going to build the oil pump for this thing. For you guys that are interested in building one of these engines, this is something that you are going to need to know how to do. Not that it's very hard, but something that I did want to mention is for you guys that are interested, I think what I'm going to do is I already have a block and all that stuff that's already been drilled and tapped for doing the front cover conversion and all that stuff. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a video together on the stuff that you have to do this engine, and it'll be all in one video, just showing you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this, have to do this. Just for you guys that are interested in doing it, it'll be, I don't know how long, probably a 15 or 20 minute video, so it won't be super long. But I think I'm going to do that. So anyways, I am going to video doing the oil pump, probably mostly in long form. I'm not time lapse, just regular video, just so that I'll cut out the bits and pieces that I don't want to. So the reason that you have to do this, for you guys that don't know, this is a 12 valve pump and they are helical cut gears. That's not the problem. Well, it is the problem, but it's not the problem. This is a common rail pump. So if you look at it, this bore is smaller than this bore, and that is the problem. So you have to turn, well, I shouldn't say you have to turn. You could probably turn this diameter down and do it if you wanted to. But it seems like it'd be an awful lot more work to do that than to do this. So what I do is, well, one, these pumps are, the common rail pumps are actually cheaper than the 12 valve pumps. So what I do is I just press these gears off of here, and then we put these gears onto this pump, and then put a little bit of weld on it, and then I'll weld this piece too. The reason I shouldn't say the very first time. Very first time I had a problem. So on my engine, the very first 6.7 block that this truck got was a 5.9 12 valve in a 6.7 block. And the reason I wanted that was I wanted the strength of the block. So I thought, yeah, I'm going to do this. This is going to be awesome. And it's been all downhill since then. Anyways, has nothing to do with that. Parts failures is a parts failure. So what happened was the gear, so I pressed this gear on and off right here on this shaft. And what happened was the actual shaft on this side spun. So that sucks. So, and I don't know if maybe I did press it, I moved it a little bit or something, I don't know. So what I'm going to do when I put them back together, after I take them apart now, I'm going to weld on the outside of this, but I also put a little bit of weld on this side too, just a couple of tacks, even though I never take it apart because it burnt me once. So you don't have to do it. You probably don't have to do it at all if you don't want to, but it burnt me once. Now I have done a few of these oil pumps because I've built, I don't know, 6 of these engines now, I guess. And the only one I've ever had a problem with was mine, of course. I'd rather be mine anyway, because then at least I'm the one getting the new engine. So if you are doing it, just be forewarned. You may have a problem, you may not have a problem. And like I said, if you have the equipment to do it, you could turn this pump down to run it in there. There's no reason you can't do that. It's just that I find it more screwing around to turn this down than it is just to switch the gears. So that's what I'm going to do. All right. I'm done gibbering. I am going to press those gears on and off, and we're going to put the oil pump in there. That's probably as far as I'm going to get tonight. It'll probably be in this same video, but let's get some stuff done. Because I would like to get this thing, I'm kind of hoping that maybe I can fire it up this week. Oh, no, I can't. I don't have injectors. I'd like to get it ready to the point where I could fire it up if I have injectors. So I don't have injectors yet. Well, I don't have nozzles yet to build the injectors. So, okay. Well, let's get after it. All right, when you're pressing this thing back together, something I should mention is that there's an oil feed hole right there that comes in that port, and you need to line that hole up in this. Hopefully you guys can see that. There's a hole that goes through here. It goes from here to there, and you need to line that hole up. And what it does is it actually feeds this gear. Because if you don't feed that gear, you're going to be in bad shape if you don't feed that gear. And I would imagine, I've never not lined one up, but I'd imagine it'd be a bad deal. All right, so got the gears changed. I tacked it. It does not look very pretty because it's cast. There's a little tiny burr, little tiny bubble. I'm gonna have to knock that little bubble off there. The basically all you're trying to do is it's not really a structural thing, so I'm not too worried about it. They don't need to be perfect, but I probably could have done a nicer job, but that's okay. It's mine, don't care. So we are going to knock that little tit off. There we go. Okay, we're going to put this oil pump in. Hey guys, so working on the first gen again today, as usual, apparently. I got a few things done that I didn't bother filming yesterday because it's just kind of one of those things that's hard to film when you don't have somebody to film. But I got this fitted, charge pipe fitted, if I can get far enough away so you guys can see. So it's fitting up pretty nice, using a Vibrant Van Jan clamp on this side. And then PW clamp, which is just like a fancy band clamp kind of idea. But both fantastic clamps. They're not cheap though, but you get what you pay for. So right now, I'm gonna kind of put the front end of the engine together. So I'm gonna put the power steering pump in. We're gonna get the front cover on, harmonic balancer, the trigger for the tack, get all the fan, the rad, and all that stuff back in so that we can, when I weld this in, make sure there's nothing in the way for that. And then we're going to start doing the intake piping for the this side. All right, guys. So we got the engine out of Shay's truck. You guys probably won't be able to see him out there. Maybe you can. Ah, there you go. Shay's outside working on his truck, getting her all washed up. The engine out of her, so we can use that for the engine rebuild course, or one of the engines for it. I got another one already stripped and video done, but working on. I got the rad in it. And I got to cut this hose down. This is the hose I'm going to use. And I'm just kind of puttering away at this thing today. I'm not super motivated, so I'm just plugging away on stuff that needs to get done. I got, like I said earlier, I got that pipe done. I ordered an intake horn. I was going to use a Banks one, but I decided I'm just going to I ordered a cheap aluminum one. I think it'll go better with the look of the aluminum stuff, at least for now. Maybe we'll change it later and see. And so I'm going to do this, and then I'm probably going to monkey around with a little bit of the wiring and some electrical and some of that stuff, start to get this side buttoned up, and then probably call it a day after that. So back in the time lapse we go. Hey guys, check out the merch store, cutteruprob.com, link in the description, for all the new merch that I just dropped. Help out the channel.